Would you like to learn one of the foundations of French cooking, one of the handful of master sauces from which can come so many other delightful treats? How about bechamel sauce? It's a classic. You need it for a great mac and cheese, you need it for a lasagna. Let's do it. So the first thing that I want to show you is there is kind of a simple ratio to this thing. It starts with 2 tablespoons of butter, and we're going to throw it there into our pan, and we're going to warm that butter up and get it melting. We're going to make a classic roux. 2 tablespoons of melted butter, 2 tablespoons of flour, and we're going to cook that together for a minute or so. We're just making a very, very light binding agent between butter and flour that when we add liquid to it, it will thicken without lumping. So I just want to wait for this to melt. Shouldn't take long. Meanwhile, I like to season my bechamel with clove and nutmeg, but I've taken this slice of shallot and I'm just gonna put 2 cloves into my shallot. See them sticking there? So that they're easy to retrieve. All right, there's my butter. I'm gonna add my flour. I'm gonna take a whisk and just make sure they're incorporated together. And that paste right now is free of lumps, but we want the heat to do its job. That looks beautiful, and I'm gonna add a couple tablespoons of onion. And now I'm going to add my little homemade shallot clove sachet. And I'm gonna add a little fresh nutmeg. Onion, clove, butter, nutmeg, delicious. And then we add our, depending on how thick you like your bechamel, the ratio is 2 tablespoons butter to 2 tablespoons flour to somewhere between 1 1/4 and 1 1/2 cups of milk, depending on who you're talking to. And I just add this 1/4 cup at a time so that it comes back to a hot temperature really fast, and that all of my flour and butter roux has a chance to do its work. You can see every time I add liquid to this, it gets thicker and thicker. All right, you can see now that this is starting to simmer. We have little bubbles there. Remember, if you're making other sauces, think about what you're adding to your bechamel, which is the foundation sauce, a master sauce of French cooking. So if you're adding cheese, you're gonna want it to be thinner because the melted cheese will make it thicker. This is a beautiful, thick bechamel. Remember, it's always easier to add a little milk or stock or whatever you're doing to sauces like this. And now, very simple, we're just gonna strain this and very gently pushing this through because I don't wanna break or crack my cloves and have those wind up in there. There's all the seasonings. Wipe your spatula, turn, and just run your spatula across the bottom to get those last little bits in there. Perfect. This sauce is glorious. I wait to season it. I do not season this now. I wait till the application arrives that I'm using it for, because the other ingredients that I'm mixing it with may not require pepper or salt, right? So if this is going into a lasagna, I'll put black pepper and salt. If I'm using it in a filling for a savory crepe, I may want white pepper and salt or just salt. Consider the source and the ultimate goal before you season, but that is a perfect bechamel.